The daily struggles of life can cause us to experience hopelessness. How can we become confident and find hope for a better tomorrow? Peter writes that a new birth into a living hope can be found in the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Although Peter wrote to Jewish Christians driven out of Jerusalem and scattered throughout Asia Minor, there is much that we can learn from his letter. He wrote to encourage Christians who were under persecution. Peter himself had been beaten, jailed, and threatened often as he brought God's message to the people. He had also witnessed firsthand not only fellow Christians dying for the faith, but many being scattered as they sought refuge. In the midst of his awareness of ongoing persecution and suffering, the Apostle Peter sought to bring comfort and hope to Christians under duress. And that brings us to our key verse for today, which reads, "All praise to God, the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. It is by His great mercy that we have been born again, because God raised Jesus Christ from the dead. Now we live with great expectation." 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 3. God in His mercy has given new birth to both Peter and the recipient of his letter. The new birth came through God's mercy, which reminds the readers that the provision for the new birth is solely the work of God, without any merit whatsoever from the receiver of the new birth. The means by which God accomplishes anaganao in the believer was through the resurrection of Christ from the dead. It echoes the importance of the resurrection for the Christian faith stated by Paul. Without it, the Christian faith is aimless and futile. All this ushered the Christian believer to a living hope. Inheritance results from the new birth as well. The inheritance notion is found in the Old Testament with the promise of God to Abraham to give him the land of Canaan. The children of Israel received the land through conquest by Joshua. However, their inheritance was plagued with wars, idolatry, and vices, and by the eroding effect of time. Unlike the inheritance promised to the Israelites, the inheritance God promised to Christians, 1, cannot suffer corruption or corrosion, 2, is morally pure and cannot be tainted, and 3, is reserved in heaven, set aside eternally for believers. The beneficiaries of God's inheritance are securely protected. Christians are under God's protection until the last day appointed by God for the return of Christ and the end of the world, wherein links this portion of the living hope described by the inheritance in heaven and the protection until the reception of the salvation is fully revealed. This living hope is indeed a source of great joy. So be truly glad, as the New Living Translation says. The believer's joy is challenged by the sufferings they are experiencing throughout provinces in Asia and elsewhere. But this is for a little while, though now for a season, because he has already set the time frame of endurance. Peter explains the purification process of believers' faith through trials by drawing a parallel with the process of purification of gold. Gold goes through this process through placement in a fire within a furnace, and the aim is to remove the impurities from the mined substance and achieve pure gold. In doing so, the fire does not destroy the gold, but rather gold's purity increases after being separated from the impurities. In the same way, a Christian is strengthened after going through trials faithfully. Thus, faith has a goal, this inheritance, the living hope. It is summed up in the salvation of their souls. Souls here refers to the whole person, and salvation is both present and future and relates to the whole person, not just the physical body. It starts with regeneration at new birth and is completed in glorification when Christ comes. Here's our lesson. With so many catastrophes occurring in the world around us, let alone the strife among nations and individuals, from where do we draw our strength to face a world in turmoil? The foundations of our society have been shaken. Yet the Church of Jesus Christ is called to be a beacon of light to this shaken world. Let's determine ways that our churches can have an impact of hope on the communities in which we live, and let's share this hope that we have with those who are in seemingly hopeless situations.